Assalamu alaikum students and welcome to SM Public Academy Campus 5. I hope you all are doing good and you're all are staying home and staying safe, okay? So as I already told you that we are going to have different sessions this one week long. 1 week we're going to have literature and 1 week we're going to have language, okay? So this week we are going to have language classes. I welcome all the grade 8 students to English language class and I am your teacher Ms. Sabah Arif, as you all know me. So I want you all to prepare yourselves for English language. I'm giving you a minute. If you have not brought the books or everything, just have it with you. We don't need the books, message, we need the copy only. Okay. Just have your English language copies with you. I hope you all have collected your language copies checked from the school on Saturday. So you must all must be having their English language copies by now. If anybody does not have the English language copy, don't worry. Do the work in the diary or in any rough copy, and then when you collect the copy, do copy all the work in that. Okay. No need to worry about that. If you have not, selected the copy, do the work in any other copy that you have. Clear? I have some construction work going on around my house, so you will be hearing a lot of disturbance sounds from the background, so please don't get bothered. Okay, our topic for today is clauses. Now, clauses are the building blocks of the sentences. I think people must have done the clauses before in grade 7, but if you have not done or if you don't remember, don't worry, we'll be doing them all over again. So just don't worry. What are clauses? Now let's see what are clauses. What is a clause? Okay, first of all, before I begin with the definition and I begin with the clause, let me tell you one thing that a clause is actually very typical. It looks like a statement sometimes, it looks like, other parts of a speech sometimes, but actually you have to be very careful when you are doing clauses because clauses are a little different from statements, okay? Statements, phrases, clauses, all of these are actually parts of a sentence, okay? A sentence can have clauses and uh, phrases and statements at the same time, so you need to be very careful when it is a clause and when it's not, okay? So try to focus on the definition, try to understand what it is so that it gets easier for you to understand, okay, that what is a clause. A clause is a group of words that contain both a subject and a predicate or a verb. That means a clause is a group of words. Definitely, a group of words is a sentence. Okay, it's in the form of a sentence that contains both a subject and a predicate. That means there is a subject always there and there is a verb always there. That means somebody is doing something always in a clause. Okay, something is being done by somebody always. Okay, now the person who's doing it or the main character or the central thing that is going on is done by the subject. Okay, that is the subject of the clause, as the work that is being done is the predicate or the verb part. Okay, the subject is the entity doing the action of the sentence, and the verb is the action that subject completes. So basically, the subject is performing any action, anything that is being completed, and that is the verb. Okay, that action is the verb. Is that clear? Okay, so let's move forward. Now, dependent, independent, and dependent clauses. First of all, we uh, divide the clauses into two parts, that is dependent clauses and independent clauses. Okay, now what is the difference between independent and dependent clauses? We will have to see here. But before I tell you here, you have to understand first that a clause is a group of words that has a noun and a verb. Okay, now first thing, a clause has a noun and a verb. Second thing, there are two types of clauses, independent and dependent. Now, what is an independent clause? Let's look at the independent clause first. That what is an independent clause? Okay, as the word tells you, independent, that means free. Okay, independent is free. Okay, so it is must be a free clause, or it's also called the main clause. Okay, independent clauses. Okay, we have students joining in. Let them join. An independent clause is a group of related words that contain a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought. Independent clause is equal to a complete thought. Okay. So basically, what is an independent clause? An independent clause is a group of words that is actually giving us a complete thought. That means it does not need or it does not need to have a supporting clause or any other statement supporting it. It's a complete sentence. It's a complete thought. It's telling us about a complete action and what the subject is doing. Okay, it does not need any supportive references or any supportive sentences or any phrases along with it or any statements along with it. That means it tells us about a complete action or a complete what is happening. Okay, clear? Is that clear? Are you getting my point? What is an independent clause? An independent clause is a clause that is actually telling us about a complete thought. Okay, that means we do not need to have any supportive clauses in it. Okay, is that clear? See, an independent clause, let me tell you again, if it's not clear to you, that an independent clause actually tells us about a complete thought. Suppose I am saying I enjoy sitting by the fireplace and reading. So this is a complete independent clause. That is, I enjoy sitting by the fireplace and reading. Okay, is that clear? I am not putting any supportive verbs in it, any supportive thoughts in it. It's just a complete thought. Okay. Our planet revolves around the sun. This is an independent clause. Okay. Planet is the subject, revolve is the noun here. Okay. So our planet revolves around the sun. This is a complete thought. That means this is an independent clause. Okay. Furthermore, you know what I can give you example is she wants to travel around the world. She wants to travel around the world. Now, she is my subject here and travel is my verb here. So she wants to travel around the world. This is a complete thought. This is a independent clause. Okay. Independent clauses are complete sentences. They begin with a capital letter and end with punctuation such as a period. Okay. That means they are complete. They do not need any supportive clauses, any supportive sentences with them. Is that clear? Okay, let's move on. Now, dependent clauses. Actually, what we have to worry about are the dependent clauses because dependent clauses are basically our subjects. Okay, what we are doing this year in eighth grade are the dependent clauses. I have given you the introduction of independent and dependent because you need to understand the difference. Okay, so that you can recognize the difference between them. Okay, that what is the difference between independent and dependent clauses. But basically, our course revolves around the dependent clauses. Okay, we have to focus on what? We have to focus on the dependent clauses. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, dependent clauses. Dependent clauses contain a subject and a verb, but do not express a complete thought. That means dependent clause is equal to an incomplete thought. The dependent clause is not a complete sentence. Okay, so see, a dependent clause is actually a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, but does not express a complete thought. Is that clear? That means it will have a subject and a verb, but it will not be expressing a complete thought. Okay, that means it cannot be a sentence. It cannot be a complete sentence. It cannot begin with a capital letter and end with a period or a full stop because it is an incomplete thought. Okay. Suppose I am saying uh, Ali won't be able to play because in the game because he injured his foot. Now he injured his foot is the dependent clause here. Okay, Ali won't be able to play because he injured his foot. So if I'm saying because he injured his foot, this is my dependent clause. Now because he injured his foot is not a sentence by itself. Okay, I have to say because he injured who, what I'm talking. So if I'm supporting it, Ali will not be able to play because he injured his foot. Then this will be a complete sentence. Okay. If I'm only saying because he injured his foot, that is a dependent clause, and that is not actually a complete statement by itself. Is that clear, everyone? You people are getting what I'm saying? Any questions so far between the dependent and the independent clauses? See, again, I'm giving you more examples. Suppose that if it's a dependent clause, then I'm saying I cannot wait for the, I'm going by foot because I cannot wait for the bus. If I'm saying because I am waiting for the bus or because I cannot wait for the bus, so this is in, it's a dependent clause, right? Because I cannot wait for the bus. So I am going, right? If I, you have to understand that if I only say because I cannot wait for the bus, this is actually an dependent clause. Okay, it's a dependent clause. Why? Because it does not make sense out of it. If I'm saying I am going on foot because I cannot wait for the bus, then it becomes a complete sentence. Okay, clear everyone? Let me give you more examples. uh, we are going to play outside until the sun sets. Okay. Now here, until the sun sets is my dependent clause. Getting it? If I say until the sun sets, what until the sun sets? What is going to happen? I mean, until the sun sets, it's a dependent clause because we cannot make sense out of it. It does not make any sense from its own until and unless I add something or in front or behind it. That is until the sun sets, we will play outside. Getting my point? Now it's a complete sentence. Until the sun sets is not a sentence or is not a proper the phrase by itself. Okay, it does not explain anything. Clear? Getting it? You want more examples? Shall I give you more examples? Okay. Since I don't have enough money. Now, if I say since I don't have enough money, that does not make any sense. But if I'm saying I cannot buy this gold ring since I don't have enough money, now this is a complete sentence, okay? I cannot buy the gold ring since I don't have enough money. So since I don't have enough money is my dependent clause, okay? And since I don't have enough money depends on which clause? The independent clause, that is I cannot buy the gold ring. If I'm saying I cannot buy the gold ring, that is the independent clause. Since I don't have money is my dependent clause. Okay, getting the difference between both. Is it clear now? Any questions so far? Tell me so that I can move forward. Clear everyone? Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so the dependent clauses now. The types of clauses, there are the main or independent clauses and there are the subordinate or the dependent clauses. Okay. Now the main or the independent clauses are not further categorized. That means the main or the independent clauses are complete sentences. They don't need any further description. But the subordinate or dependent clauses, they are broken up into noun clause, adjective clause, and adverb clause. The with reference to what subject what is their goal, what is the aim of the clause. Okay, whatever the aim of the clause is, that is the clause. Suppose it's a noun clause, so it's serving the purpose of a noun. If it's an adjective clause, it's serving the purpose of an adjective. It's an adverb clause, definitely serving the purpose of an adverb. And actually, this is what we have to focus on, the subordinate or the dependent clauses. So today I'm going to explain you the noun clause. Okay. Today we are going to talk about the noun clause. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the adverbial clauses. So, noun clauses. A noun clause is a group of words that band together and act like a noun. Noun clauses are used when a single word isn't enough. They are always dependent clauses. They often begin with words like how, that, what, when, which, where, who, and why. Okay. They usually begin with it. They often begin with these words, but it's not always like this. It can be different, but usually. Okay. So, what is a noun clause? It's a group of words that band together and act like a noun. Now, are you getting my point? What is a noun clause? A noun clause is actually a name of a person, place, thing, or an idea. You know what is a noun? A noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or idea. And since it acts like a noun, that means it can be a subject, object, or any supportive verb, which is actually we are talking about, and it is describing actually what is happening. Okay, so suppose look at these examples here. and they're always dependent. They are always dependent. A noun clause can never be independent. They are always dependent clauses. Now look at the example. How he behaved was not acceptable. So how he behaved, this is my noun clause in the sentence. If I say how he behaved, if I say this only sentence, that is if I say how he behaved, that does not make any sense. That is why it's a dependent clause. Okay, noun clause is a dependent clause because if I say it only alone, it does not make any sense. It needs to have a supportive sentence along with it or a statement along with it. So how he behaved was not acceptable. Okay, so this is a noun clause. She did not know where she was. So if I say where she was only, again, it's a dependent clause. This is a noun clause. The ones in red are the noun clauses. Okay, she didn't know where she was. Now it's a complete sentence, but if I only say where she was, it does not make any sense. Her favorite part of the book was when the dragon turned into a boy. If I say when the dragon turned into a boy, you will ask me what? What about when the dragon turned into a boy? Okay, so again, it's a dependent clause and it's a noun clause. Okay, all of these are noun clauses because they're serving the purpose of a noun. Okay, in this sentence, if I say, suppose, look again at this sentence, how he behaved was not acceptable. So, how he behaved, actually, we're talking about his behavior, and his behavior is the noun, okay? I can also say it like this, his behavior was not acceptable, right? Getting my point? But that will be a statement, that will not be a clause, okay? Because if I say his behavior makes sense, right? But how he behaved does not make any sense on its own. So you have to understand the difference between a clause and a statement, okay? Let me make it more clear to you people here. Noun clauses. A noun clause is a clause that plays the role of a noun, okay? That means it is acting like a noun in the sentence. For example, I like what I see. Okay. Like all clauses, a noun clause has a subject and a verb. In this example, the subject of the clause is I and the verb is see. So I and see. I is my subject and see is my verb. You know, that is important for a clause to have. Remember, the clause is always going to have a subject and a verb. If I write here, I like everything. I like what I see. I can always also write I like everything, but everything is not going to be my clause. Why? Because it does not have a subject and a verb. A clause always needs to have a subject and a verb. Okay, if you are making the clauses in the future, when I give you the sentences, make sure whatever, if you write I like everything, then it will be wrong because everything, as per a sentence, this is correct. I like everything or a statement, but it's not a clause. Everything cannot be a clause. Why? Because it does not have a noun and a verb. Okay, a clause needs to have a noun and a verb, a subject and a verb. That is what it is. Okay. How the boy behaved was not very polite. In this example, boy is the subject and behaved is the verb. Okay, so if I say how the boy behaved, again, it does not make any sense on its own. So it's a dependent clause. A noun clause is always a dependent clause. So this is fulfilling my first condition. Second, it should have a subject and a verb. So boy is my subject, behave is my verb. So again, how the boy behaved makes sense. Okay, that it's having both the conditions fulfilled for a dependent clause and was not very polite is my supporting the statement. So this proves that the color text in the first two examples are functioning as nouns, right? How the boy behaved, his behavior. I like what I see, I like everything. But again, if I say I like everything, again, this is not going to be a clause. If I say his behavior was not very polite, again, it's not going to be a subject and a verb. So how the boy behaved is the subject and the verb, and it is fulfilling the conditions of a noun clause. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, let's move forward. Noun clause, a dependent clause that functions as a noun. Now you should remember this thing that it's a noun clause. That means it's going to function like a noun. Now suppose look here, pepperoni is fine with me. Noun acting as a subject, pepperoni is fine with me. But again, it is only a subject. It does not have a verb with it. Okay, getting my point? It does not have a verb with it. So this is a statement. Okay, pepperoni is fine with me is a statement. Whatever you want is fine with me. Now it's a noun clause. Why? Because it has whatever you want. You is my subject, want is my verb. So whatever you want is fine with me. Again, it is whatever you want is a dependent clause. It has a subject and a verb. So this is a noun clause. Is the noun clause clear to you people? Shall we move forward to the class work? Kindly let me know if anything is unclear so far so that I can re-explain it and then we can move forward to our class work. Please let me know in the chat box if anything is not clear so that we can move to the class work. Yes, every day you're going to have a written work bit, and this all week you need to have your language copies with you. Okay, so let's begin the class work. Hurry up and take out your language copies, everyone, please. I'm giving you a minute, take out your language copies, and this all week we will be doing the work in the language copies. Okay, you must have submitted the literature copies on Saturday. So now you have the language copies, do the work in the language copy. And again, I'm telling you, if you don't have the language copy, don't worry, do it in your diary, the back of your lesson diary, or you can also do it in any rough copy and copy it in the language copy afterwards. Okay, so let's begin the class work. Kindly make a title page for clauses, everyone. Kindly make a title page for the clauses. Now this is going to be your index. Again, I'm telling you, the serial number can be different. You can have your own serial number as per your copy. I thought this is supposed to be the fifth work that we are doing, but if yours is different, it's okay. Put the date and the topic. Done everyone with the index. Shall I move forward? Okay, let's move forward. Now, as if the index page is full, then you can use the index at the back side of the copy. Anybody whose index is full, you can use the index on the back side of the copy, okay? Okay, clauses is going to be the heading and you have to write down it like this. And whatever I've put in blue, kindly write it with the blue pen. Yes, Deval, you have to make the title page. Beta, whatever I've written in blue color, you have to write that with the blue pen, okay? I mean, you have to write it with a black pen. I'm sorry, it's the opposite. But actually, I wanted to make it, appear different. So you write it with the blue pen. Whatever I've written in blue, you write it with black. Blue was not very much visible. That's why I made it the other way around. So you write everything with a blue pen, and whatever I've written in blue, you can write that with black. Okay, so that will be different because blue is not very clear. But in a slide, when if I use blue all the time, then it does not look very clear. So that's why I have put it in the opposite color. Coloration. Is everyone doing the work? Any questions here so far? You see, a noun clause is a sentence where noun is used indirectly, such as I know what he said. Now, this is a clause because what he said is a clause, and his story is the noun statement. His story does not have a, although it has a subject, but it does not have a verb. So this is again a statement. I know his action. This is a statement, but I know what he did is a clause. I understand his explanation. This is a statement. I understand what he is telling in detail is a clause. Okay. So you have to write the clause part of every noun, sentence with the black pen. Good, Betty. Okay, if everybody is done, then shall we move forward? Everybody done with this? Shall we move forward? I'm giving you 1 more minute to complete this. Okay, then I'm going to move forward. An adverbial clause is a sentence where adverb is used indirectly. Okay, now you have to write this today in your copy. Tomorrow I'm going to explain you. We're going to do the adverbial clauses tomorrow. I'm going to explain you them in detail. Just copy down this in your copy today. She walks in a graceful manner. That is a clause because it is definitely describing the manner. She walks gracefully is the adverbial statement. The aeroplane was about to land at 7 p.m. but landed at 8 p.m. This is an adverbial clause. The aeroplane was late was is the adverbial statement. Okay, so just copy this down. I'm going to explain you the adverbial clauses tomorrow. And you have around 6 minutes to complete this work, 6 to 7 minutes. So please hurry up. Yes, you can write it on the same page, Mariam. You don't have to write it on a separate page. You have to just, it's all the same work, okay? Continue it from the same page. फिर नहीं होता। 4 दिन हो जाए, थोड़ी बीच में से करो। Okay, Alicia, thank you if you're done. Okay, good. Those of you who have done, just revise it once. See if there is no mistake, there are no grammatical mistakes, and there are no spelling errors because sometimes you're copying without seeing even, I think. You're making a lot of spelling errors. No need to hurry. We have 3 minutes. Just go through it. See if you haven't make any spelling errors. We have a lot of disturbance today because of the work going outside. Okay, if anybody has missed anything from the beginning, let me know so that I can scroll back up so that you can write it. If you have missed the index or anything, let me know right now. We have 2 minutes, I can switch back. Everybody's written everything. Okay, good everyone. Okay, Sam Samad, I'll show you the previous slide. Shall I change this slide? Those of you who are doing this one, are you done? Shall I change this slide? Shall I go back to the previous one? Okay, this is the first slide, time. If you missed it, you can see here. This is going to be the heading. You have to leave a title page. You have to leave a page for the title page. You have to make the index, and this is how you have to begin. Okay, we have less than a minute left. I hope you people are done. Anything if you have missed, I'll upload the lecture on the Google Classroom through a YouTube link. You can always do it there. Okay. So take care of yourself, everyone, and Allah Hafiz. And again, I'm repeating, if there's anything you have missed, you can take it from the YouTube link, okay, in the Google Classroom. Any questions, any comments, let me know. Take care, Allah Hafiz.